McDonald's sells an astonishing 9 million pounds of French fries every single day. Not every year, every single day. Yet nobody actually knows who invented them. France says the French fry is French. Belgium insists that it is strictly Belgian. The two countries have been arguing over this exact question for more than a century. The dispute is treated with intense seriousness. Belgium opened an entire museum dedicated to their claim, housed inside a 14th century Gothic building in Bruges. France fired back with a defensive newspaper headline declaring, "No, French fries are not Belgian." To understand this international custody battle, we have to trace the core ingredient back 8,000 years to the Andes Mountains. Indigenous farmers in Peru and Bolivia domesticated the potato, building the Inca Empire's food supply around it. It stayed isolated in South America until the 1530s, when Spanish conquistadors arrived looking for gold. They found potatoes instead. Sailors packed them for long voyages across the Atlantic because the vitamin C prevented scurvy. By the 1570s, the potato had reached Europe. The reaction was outright terror. Europeans saw a gnarled, lumpy vegetable that grew underground in the dark. It belonged to the nightshade family, the same botanical family as deadly nightshade. Many terrified Europeans concluded that it caused leprosy. The fear reached its peak in France, where the parliament passed a law banning potatoes entirely. They declared the crop completely unfit for human consumption, stating it was only good enough for pigs. The nations that currently spend millions of dollars and century-long diplomatic efforts fighting over who invented the French fry initially banned its core ingredient as an illegal disease-causing poison. The potato might have stayed banned if not for a French army pharmacist named Antoine Augustin Parmentier. In the mid-1700s, during the 7 Years' War, Parmentier was captured by the Prussians and thrown into a prison camp. Every day, the prison guards fed him the exact same thing: boiled, plain potatoes. Back in France, this would have been considered torture. But after years of eating a diet his countrymen believed caused leprosy, Parmentier emerged from the camp completely healthy. When he returned to France, he realized the potato could end the famines that routinely killed thousands of citizens. It grew fast and survived poor soil. He just had to figure out how to get 30 million French citizens to eat something they firmly believed would kill them. Parmentier abandoned logic and went straight to reverse psychology. In 1781, King Louis XVI granted him a large plot of land just outside Paris. Parmentier planted the entire field with potatoes, then surrounded it with heavily armed military guards, patrolling day and night. The message to the public was obvious: whatever is in that field must be incredibly valuable. But Parmentier secretly instructed his guards to look the other way. If thieves snuck in at night, the guards were ordered to let them escape with the crop. The trick worked perfectly. People who had refused to touch a potato for decades were suddenly stealing them under the cover of darkness. The forbidden crop spread across Parisian gardens. The ban was repealed, and potatoes grew everywhere. By the late 1700s, during the French Revolution, working-class street vendors on the Pont Neuf, Paris's oldest image, started slicing these potatoes into strips and dropping them into hot fat, selling them hot and crisp from pushcarts. Parmentier's campaign of psychological trickery and royal influence transformed a feared illegal crop into an urban staple, clearing the way for its debut as a popular street food. Jump forward to 1940s America. The French fry was incredibly popular, but producing it was a logistical nightmare. Every restaurant peeled, cut, and fried by hand. Water content in potatoes varies by season and farm. Two restaurants on the same street could produce completely different fries, making consistency impossible. A 14-year-old school dropout from Idaho named J.R. Simplot saw the inefficiency. Within a few decades of sorting potatoes at a warehouse, he built an agricultural shipping empire and turned his attention to solving the fry problem. In 1953, Simplot patented a breakthrough process. He blanched the potato strips, partially fried them, and then froze them solid. Restaurants could store them for months and drop them directly into hot oil for identical results every single time. Nobody bought them. Housewives didn't want to manage deep-fried grease in their kitchens, and small restaurant owners didn't trust a frozen product. Simplot's invention sat on the shelf collecting frost. He needed a buyer with an obsession for uniformity. In 1965, he found Ray Kroc. Kroc was rapidly expanding McDonald's across the country, but he was buying fresh potatoes from 175 different local suppliers. The varying quality was unacceptable for a man trying to build a completely uniform national brand. Simplot pitched his identical frozen fries. The two men shook hands. By 1972, every single McDonald's location in the world had switched from fresh cut to frozen. The fresh potato vanished from their kitchens entirely. But uniformity was only half the equation. McDonald's had a secret frying blend called Formula 47, roughly 93. While America industrialized the fry, the rest of the world used that standard shape as a blank culinary canvas, adapting it to local tastes. In Quebec, a trucker's request at a roadside diner in 1957 led to poutine. In the Netherlands, they smother them in mayo, curry ketchup, and raw onions for oorlog. Peruvians top them with hot dogs for salchipapas. And in the United Kingdom, they wrap thick-cut chips in newspaper next to battered fish. The fry's cultural footprint is so massive, it even gets drafted into foreign policy. In 2003, when France opposed the invasion of Iraq, the United States Congress officially renamed the dish Freedom Fries in their cafeterias. The rebrand quietly disappeared 3 years later. Which brings us back to the century-old mystery: France or Belgium? Look at this timeline. Belgium points to a story from 1680, where villagers supposedly fried potato shapes when the Meuse River froze over. But historians have poked holes in this. Potatoes likely didn't even arrive in that specific part of Belgium until the 1730s, and poor villagers couldn't afford enough cooking fat to deep fry a root. France points to their 1789 Parisian street vendors. The timeline fits perfectly with Parmentier's potato campaign, but it gets complicated. A traveling German-born cook named Frederick Krieger toured Belgium in the early 1800s selling Paris-style potatoes, and he's likely the one who started cutting them into the fast-cooking stick shape we recognize today. Even the name is a dead end. A popular myth claims American soldiers named them French fries during World War I after hearing Belgian troops speak French. But Thomas Jefferson served potatoes in the French manner at the White House in 1802. The name existed well before the war. The truth is, the fry doesn't belong to a single country. It started in the Andes, caused panic in Europe, got industrialized in Idaho, and then absorbed the history and flavors of every society it touched. So who really deserves the credit? Let us know who you think won the fry war in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep dives into the history sitting right on your plate. If you want to see more deep dives into the history that built our modern world, hit the like button and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what topic we should explore next.